Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tawanda, and I'm the Migraine Crafting Diva. And on this channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope you will stay. If you're already subscribed, thank you for continuing to watch my videos every Sunday. I greatly appreciate it. And now we're going to go ahead and get into today's DIYs. Today's DIYs are all about the napkins. So we'll be doing some napkin DIYs with all different types of Mod Podge. So we're going to go ahead and get started with DIY number one. So for DIY number one, I have this tin container that I've had since I believe like 1998 or 1999. It was a gift that I received while I was in the military. And I have some Mackenzie Chow's napkins, and then I'm also going to use some of the Apple Barrel white, I think it's the Snow White paint. I'm going to go ahead and give the tin 2 coats of white paint, and then once the paint is completely dry, I'm just going to take some of the matte Mod Podge and use that to apply the napkins to the tin. So here I am just trying to find the placement and how I want to put the napkins onto the tin. So I just decided that I wanted to just kind of have the black and white checkered pattern at the bottom of the tin, and then maybe just a couple little pieces like sporadically like on top of it or on the side of it. So here I'm just going ahead and doing that, using some of my saran wrap to help it adhere to the tin. Now what I will say is, because this tin is really old, and it did have some little dents in it, but I think what I should have done is I should have sanded in between coats to kind of have it smooth out some, because you can kind of see some of the texture and the paint on the tin can once the tin container once I put the white paint on. But I mean, I'm just going to keep it for myself, so I guess I don't really mind having a little bit of texture. But if you're going to make this or make it for somebody else, I would probably go ahead and just sand in between coats so that you would have a smoother finish. So here I am now applying another one of the Mackenzie Chow's napkins, and these napkins are 3-ply, so make sure you go ahead and take the back 2-ply napkins off before you start to decoupage with these. So what I did was I went ahead and I just kind of cut some of the areas out so that you would be able to see the black and white checkered pattern in between or in the background of the flower pattern. So here I'm just going ahead and applying it with the Mod Podge and getting it how I like it. And then I also cut out just a couple other pieces of the flowers from another section of the napkin, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that also. So once I have it all complete, I'm going to go ahead and let it completely dry, and then I went back and I gave it a second coat. So once I gave it a second coat and I let it completely dry, I took my scissors and I just kind of went back and scored around the top of it so that I would be able to open up the container. And that was it. That's going to be it for this DIY. This one and the next one are probably two of the easier DIYs I did. The other two were a little bit of a challenge, but I got through it and I made it work. So hopefully you will enjoy this video. So let me know what you think, and we're going to go ahead and get moving on to DIY number 2, which is one of my favorite DIYs. So we'll go ahead and get started. So moving on to DIY number 2, my favorite thing to make, coasters. I love making coasters. So here I'm just showing you the different napkins, and I was going to use the blue and white ones, but then I decided that I was going to use the blue and white checkered napkins, but then I decided to use the floral pattern instead. And then I was going to put them both together, and then I was like, nah, I'll just go ahead and just use the floral pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of the napkins out, and like I said, they are 3 plies, so make sure you remove the back 2 plies. And I'm just going to try and kind of figure out how I want to place the napkin onto my coasters. And I also went ahead and painted my coasters with the Apple Barrel white, Snow White paint also. So here I am just trying to get those 2 layers off. And then I am trying to figure out where I would like to place my napkins, and I'm just going to take some water and just go around the edges, and then I'll just tear it how I want. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some of the Mod Podge, and for this one, this DIY, I will be using the Mod Podge, the outdoor exterior Mod Podge. It's water based, and the reason why I'm using this is because I actually plan on putting this outside on my deck when we have guests over, so that they'll have a place to put their drinks, have coasters to put their drinks on. And or I may just put them in my crafting room so that I'll have a place to put my drinks on. But here I am after I put the first layer of Mod Podge on. I'm just going to go ahead and apply the napkin, and then once the napkin is applied, I'll go ahead and take the saran wrap to go ahead and smooth it out. And here I am again, just repeating what I did on the first one. And I was gonna go ahead, I was gonna try the iron-on method. I always just use the Mod Podge and just let it dry. I don't really mind doing that because usually it doesn't take as long. But these DIYs, it take quite a bit of time. Not the first 2, they were pretty simple, but the other 2 did. But here I am just kind of putting some water onto the napkins, and I'm just going to go ahead and tear the edges off. So, and then I also went back and I gave them both, gave all 4 of them another coat of Mod Podge and a clear coat of the Rust-Oleum clear coat. And here are my coasters. I absolutely love them. Can't wait to start using them. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get moving and move on to DIY number 3. I hope you enjoy these. DIY number 3. This DIY gave me a hard time. So here I have a t-shirt that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I think I paid like $2.99 for it. I also purchased the Sweet as Can Be napkins from Hobby Lobby. I paid $2.50 for those, for the napkins. And then I'm going to be using some of the Mod Podge fabric Mod Podge. So here I'm just trying to find a place to put my napkin. And so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the back, only because I can just kind of practice and put it on the back. And if I mess it up on the back, you know, I can just use the shirt as one of the shirts that I can use when I'm outside working in my yard or something. And I have my big head in the video. Sorry about that. So here I am. I first started off by putting the Mod Podge on the t-shirt. I also took the t-shirt into one of the cardboard t-shirt forms. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my napkin to my t-shirt, and as you can see here, I also tore the edges around the napkin because I wanted it to kind of look like it was like torn, you know. And then here I am applying the Mod Podge. So I think my first mistake was, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think I probably should have applied the Mod Podge to the napkin and not to the shirt. And I applied the Mod Podge, the napkin, to a black shirt without a white background. So, and then I had Mod Podge all over the place. So, and I decided, you know what, I don't really like it. It didn't look good. So here I am. I took some of this little fabric from Dollar Tree with the bumblebees, and I just cut it into a square. And then I took some white fabric that I purchased from Dollar Tree, and I'm using the fabric Mod Podge to adhere all of the fabric together. So I'm placing all of the fabric together into a square so that it will give me a white background. And then once I have that done and it's completely dry, I'm going to go ahead and take another one of the Sweet as Can Be napkins and place that onto the center where it's white in the square so that it will have a white background instead of a black background, because when I was looking at the shirt once it was completely dry, and this process took me like almost 4 days to get done, with like letting it dry in between and making the different changes that I made to the shirt. So here I am just getting it all set up, the fabric set up how I want it, and then I'm just cutting off some of the little the strings. Now I did leave a little bit of them on there because I really didn't mind it being a little bit rustic. So this is the finished product. So here I am now just cutting the excess fabric off, and I'm using a rotary color that I purchased from TEMU, and I must say it worked out really well. I think I paid like $6 or $7 for it, but I'll link it. I'll put the description of it and link it in my description box. But this thing is awesome. It actually, I hate to say this, but it works better than the name brand ones that I have that came with my sewing machine. But yeah, I had no issues with that. It cut so well. So here I am showing you my napkin. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some of the fabric glue, the fabric Mod Podge to the fabric, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the Sweet as Can Be napkin onto the fabric, and then I'm going to let that dry overnight. And then once it's completely dry, I will go ahead and attach it to the back of the shirt on top of what I had already put on it. So yeah, this was a process. So here what I did was I also, because I didn't want to get Mod Podge everywhere like I did the first time. This is me just placing it. I went ahead and then I put the Mod Podge on the back of my fabric, and then I placed it onto the shirt, and I let it dry again overnight. So like I said, yeah, this took about 4 days to complete. But yeah, the finished product actually came out really nice. So this is what it looks like after it's all said and done. So let me know what you think, and if you would have done anything different, or if you have any pointers of what I could have done differently using a darker fabric, I would greatly appreciate it if you would put it in the comments. Okay, moving right along to DIY number 4, our last and final DIY, and it is also a Mackenzie Child's dupe of a pillow that she has on her website that I absolutely loved, but I absolutely could not and would not, no matter how much money I would have paid $118 for. Yeah. So what I decided to do differently from the t-shirt was I was going to go ahead and just attach the napkin to the white fabric. So I'm also using the Mod Podge, the fabric Mod Podge. I have another one of the Mackenzie Child napkins. I'm also using the white fabric from the Dollar Tree, and I also have a black pillow cover from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I did was I went ahead and applied the fabric Mod Podge to the white fabric, and then I took my saran wrap and I started to place my napkin onto the white fabric. Now, if you saw a little bit earlier, I kind of moved it and then I ripped it a little bit, but I went back and I fixed that issue. I just cut out another piece of, I just cut a little piece of the square out and placed it, put another one on top of it. So once that was completely dry, I have my black pillow cover from Dollar Tree, and I went ahead and just used the rotary cutter to cut the fabric out into a square. So there I'm using my rotary cutter again because, like I said, I absolutely love it. Yeah, giving you a thumbs up. It's a really good rotary cutter. So I learned from my first mistake with the t-shirt, so I went ahead and just took some tape and I taped around the edges, and I'm going to go ahead and take my Mod Podge and I am going to cover the back of the white fabric. And once I have it completely covered, I'm going to go ahead and place it onto the pillow cover. And then once I have it placed, I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this without like getting Mod Podge everywhere and trying to keep it lined up. So I tried to like roll it and do like do it in half. And so I just decided I was just going to just at some point just go with it, because it was on the white fabric and it wasn't on the napkin. So even if I lifted it up, I wasn't going to tear the napkin because it was just fabric on fabric. So that actually worked out pretty well for me for that part. So once I have it placed like I wanted, I'm going to just go ahead and take that saran wrap and kind of just rub on it to get it as flat and as straight as I can, trying to not make any more or any extra wrinkles with the on the napkin. So once I have that done, I am going to let it, I actually let it I let it dry for 2 days. And then after I let it dry for 2 days, I gave it a clear coat, and then I let it dry another day, and then I gave it another clear coat. Not clear coat, another coat of the fabric Mod Podge. So in total, the top of the napkin got two coats of fabric Mod Podge after I placed it onto the pillow cover. And here it is. That is it. And like I said, that pillow costs on the Mackenzie Child's website $118, and my dupe costs around $3. So let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And also, if you could please leave a comment below and let me know which one was your favorite, I would greatly appreciate it. And that's going to be it for today's video. And I would like to thank you for spending your Sunday with me. And if you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you next Sunday. Goodbye.